a shrub that most gardeners give up on 3 weeks too early. They plant it expecting quick harvest, like garden peas. But pigeon pea needs 6 months. Quit at month 4, and you miss the flood of pods that could feed you for a year. Here's what 3,500 years of survival gardening taught us about pigeon pea. 35 centuries ago, on India's Deccan Plateau, Vedic farmers faced a problem. Monsoons were failing. Rice paddies turned to dust. Wheat couldn't anchor in the thin soil. They needed something tougher. They found it in a wild shrub, what we now call pigeon pea. It thrived where other crops starved. Deep roots pulled water from 10 feet down, and after harvest, the soil wasn't worse. It was better, richer, because pigeon pea didn't just take, it gave back. Fast forward to the 1600s. Enslaved Africans in the Caribbean recognized those same seeds in slave traders' ships. Seeds from West Africa. Seeds from India. Same plant, different ocean. They planted pigeon pea in the small provision grounds slave owners didn't want. The rocky hillsides, the eroded gullies, and it grew. It survived. Because pigeon pea doesn't need perfect conditions. It just needs time. By the 1800s, it was a cultural cornerstone. In Jamaica, they called it gungo peas. In Trinidad, split pea dal. The pods crackled as they dried in the sun. The smell of boiling dal filled kitchens every Sunday, not because it was easy to grow, but because it grew when nothing else would. So what makes pigeon pea different from every other bean in your pantry? The answer is underground. Pull up a mature plant, gently, and look at the roots. You'll see dozens of small pink nodules, like tiny grains of rice clinging to the root hairs. Those aren't growths, they're factories. Inside each nodule lives a colony of bacteria that converts air into ammonia, then into nitrogen the plant can use. It's a partnership. The plant feeds the bacteria sugar, the bacteria feed the plant nitrogen. And here's the kicker. Pigeon pea is generous. It fixes more nitrogen than it needs, up to 40 kilograms per hectare per year. The leftover nitrogen stays in the soil when you cut the plant down. Free fertilizer for your next crop. Most protein crops steal from soil. This one donates. Above ground, the numbers tell a different story, but it's just as impressive. 100 grams of dried pigeon peas contains 21.7 grams of protein. That's more than chickpeas at 19 grams, nearly equal to black beans. And it's complete protein when you pair it with rice or corn. Fiber? 15 grams per 100 grams, higher than chickpeas at 12. Now, here's what we don't know yet. There are no large-scale human trials proving pigeon pea specifically prevents diabetes or heart disease. The evidence we have is observational. Diets high in legumes correlate with better health outcomes. But we can't isolate pigeon pea from the rest of the diet. What we can say is this. This is nutrient-dense food. High protein, high fiber, grown sustainably. And it's been feeding people for millennia. This is food and foraging information, not medical advice. Here's the challenge. If you've never grown pigeon pea, the seedling looks like every other legume in your garden. 3 leaflets, green stem, no obvious ID markers. So let's walk through this step by step because the last thing you want is to nurture a plant for 6 months only to realize it's not what you thought. First, the juvenile stage. For the first 1 to 2 months, pigeon pea looks like a shrubby weed. It's bushy, not vining. If it's climbing your fence or wrapping around a stake, it's not pigeon pea. Pigeon pea stands alone. Now the screening signs. 3 things you can check without digging. 1. Height. Mature pigeon pea grows 3 to 12 feet tall. A woody shrub, not a ground creeper. If your plant is sprawling on the ground, it's something else. 2. Leaves. Look for compound leaves with 3 oval leaflets, each 2 to 4 inches long. Turn the leaf over, run your finger across it. The underside should feel slightly fuzzy, not smooth like a bean leaf. Leaves are arranged alternately on the stem, not opposite. 3. Pods. When mature, pigeon pea pods are 2 to 4 inches long, flat, and contain 2 to 9 pea-sized seeds. They start green, then turn brown and dry. Listen for the rattle when you shake a dry pod. If your pods are round like snap peas or curved like snow peas, you've got the wrong plant. Now, the confirming test. Grab a small shovel. Dig gently about 6 inches from the base of the plant, 6 inches deep. You're looking for roots. And on those roots, you're looking for nodules. Small pink or white bumps, the size of a grain of rice or a lentil. If you see nodules plus the woody shrub structure plus the 3 leaflet pattern, you've confirmed it. That's pigeon pea. Here's your confidence threshold. If you're missing even one of the 3 screening signs, wrong height, wrong leaves, or no pods yet, do not assume it's pigeon pea. And if you can't perform the root nodule test, don't ingest anything. You can still grow it as an ornamental, but don't eat it. Now, lookalike risk. Good news. There are no deadly pigeon pea lookalikes. The main confusion is with hyacinth bean, Lablab purpureus, which is edible. But it's a vine, not a shrub. Hyacinth bean also has purple flowers. Pigeon pea flowers are yellow or red. Exit ramp. If you can't find root nodules or the plant is vining and climbing, do not assume it's pigeon pea. Take a photo. Contact your local extension office. Get a positive ID before you harvest. All right. You've identified it. You've grown it. Now let's close that loop from the beginning. How do you actually use pigeon pea without wasting 6 months of growth? Method 1. Fresh green peas. This is the fast payoff. 4 to 5 months after planting, your shrub will start producing green pods. The seeds inside are still soft, not fully hardened yet. Harvest the pods when they're plump and green. They should snap easily when you bend them. If they're leathery or brown, you've waited too long. Shell the peas out of the pods, just like garden peas. Boil them in salted water for 10 to 15 minutes until tender. You'll smell a sweet, grassy aroma when they're done. Use them in stir-fries, curries, or salads. Tools: a knife, a pot, and a strainer. That's it. No buy version. If you don't have a strainer, just pour carefully or scoop the peas out with a slotted spoon. Don't have a knife? Use your thumbnail to split the pod seam. Mistake: waiting too long. If the pods turn brown and the seeds harden, they become bitter when cooked fresh. Fix: harvest green. If you miss the window, don't throw them away. Move to method 2. Best for quick meals. Higher vitamin C retention compared to dried peas. Anyone who wants immediate payoff without long storage prep. Method 2. Dried peas, dal, and split peas. This is the long-term storage method. Let the pods stay on the plant until they turn brown and dry, usually 6 to 7 months after planting. Shell the dried peas. Store them in an airtight jar. They'll last 1 to 2 years. When you're ready to cook, soak the peas overnight, 8 to 12 hours. Discard the soaking water. This step is not optional. Skipping the soak gives you tough texture, longer cook time, and digestive issues. After soaking, boil for 45 to 60 minutes until soft, or pressure cook for 15 to 20 minutes. You'll know they're done when you can easily crush one between your fingers. Use them in dal, soups, stews, or mash them into a hummus-style spread. Tools: jar, bowl, pot, or a pressure cooker if you have one. No buy version. Skip the pressure cooker. A regular pot works fine. Just add 15 extra minutes. Mistake: skipping the soak. Fix: always soak 8 hours minimum. Add a pinch of turmeric or a strip of kombu seaweed while cooking to reduce gas. Best for protein storage, traditional recipes, feeding a family for months from one harvest. Method 3. Green manure, nitrogen boost. This is the method most gardeners miss. Pigeon pea isn't just food. It's a soil builder. Plant pigeon pea 3 to 4 feet apart in your garden beds, or use it as a living hedge. Let it grow for 4 to 6 months. The roots develop those nitrogen-fixing nodules we talked about earlier. After you harvest the peas, or even before if you just want the soil benefit, cut the plant at soil level. Chop the stems and leaves into pieces. Mix them into the top 6 inches of soil or leave them as mulch. Critical step. Do not pull out the roots. Leave them in the ground. As the roots decompose, they release nitrogen into the soil. Pulling them out wastes half the benefit. Tools, pruning shears, and a shovel. That's it, no buy version. Use kitchen scissors for stems under 1/2 inch thick. For thicker stems, bend them back and forth until they snap. Mistake. Yanking the whole plant out of the ground. Fix. Cut at soil level. Let the roots rot in place. Best for companion planting with corn, tomatoes, peppers, anything that needs nitrogen. Also great for rebuilding tired soil before planting a heavy feeder. Here's your action promise. Tonight, you can soak dried pigeon peas. Tomorrow, pressure cook them. By dinner time, you'll have protein-rich dal ready for 3 meals. Or this weekend, you can plant pigeon pea seeds in a 5-gallon container. In 5 to 6 months, you'll harvest your first crop. On screen, you're seeing the math. 1 plant grown in the ground yields 1 to 2 kilograms of dried seeds per season. 3 plants can produce 10 to 20 kilograms over 2 seasons in warm climates. At $3 to $5 per pound in stores, you're saving $40 to $80 per season. Assumption. 3 plants, 2 seasons per year in subtropical zones, minimal input costs, compost and water. So here's the old habit, the one that's been passed down for generations but nobody writes in the gardening books. Caribbean and Indian cooks don't just use pigeon pea for protein, they use the cooking water. After you boil the peas, don't dump the water down the sink. It's loaded with minerals, flavor, and a little bit of starch. The water has a pale golden color and smells earthy, almost nutty. Save it. Use it as a soup base, or reduce it down and add it to rice while it cooks. You're layering nutrition, 0 waste, step by step. After boiling or pressure cooking your pigeon peas, strain them but save the liquid in a jar. Refrigerate for up to 3 days or freeze in ice cube trays for longer storage. Use 1 or 2 cubes per pot of rice or as a base for lentil soup. Warning. If you're growing pigeon pea near conventional farms, wash the seeds thoroughly before cooking. Pods can absorb pesticide residues from drift. And if you're planting near roadsides, skip the harvest. Lead contamination from traffic is a real risk. Solution. Grow in your backyard, away from roads and sprayed fields. If you're in Vietnam, check local regulations on plant protection chemicals before planting near agricultural zones. In the US, check with your extension office if you're planting near commercial farmland. Now the failure mode you need to see. On screen, you're looking at 2 pigeon pea plants side by side. Both are 6 months old. One is tall, bushy, covered in lush green leaves and 0 pods. The other is shorter, less leafy, and covered in pods. Touch the leaves on the first plant. Thick, dark green, almost rubbery. Now the second. Thinner, lighter green. What's the difference? The first plant was over-fertilized. Too much nitrogen from external fertilizer made it focus on leaf growth, not reproduction. The second plant was left alone. Mild nutrient stress triggered flowering, and flowering triggered pod production. Fix. If your plant is leafy but barren, stop fertilizing. Cut back on water slightly, not enough to wilt it, but enough to stress it a little. Within 3 to 4 weeks, you'll see flowers. Flowers turn into pods. This is the lazy method. Plant it. Forget it for 3 months. Stress it a little at month 4. Harvest at month 5 and 6. Evan. Let's recap what you need to remember. 1. Identification. You're looking for a shrub, not a vine, with 3 leaflet compound leaves, fuzzy undersides, and root nodules. If you can't confirm all 3 screening signs, don't harvest. 2. Safety exit ramp. Soak dried seeds for 8 hours minimum and cook thoroughly. If you have G6PD deficiency or you're on blood thinners, talk to your doctor before adding pigeon pea to your regular diet. 3. Practical method. Fresh green peas boil in 15 minutes. Dried peas need an overnight soak, then 45 to 60 minutes of cooking. Or use the plant as green manure. Cut it at soil level, leave the roots to decompose, and let the next crop benefit from the nitrogen. That's the Pigeon Pea Benefits package. 21.7 grams of protein per 100 grams, more than chickpeas, plus 40 kilograms of nitrogen donated back to your soil each year. High protein for you. Free fertilizer for your next crop. And drought resilience that survives where garden peas fail. Now, here's what I'm curious about. Have you tried growing pigeon pea? Or is this your first time hearing about it? Comment A if you've tried it. B if this is new to you. Let's see how many of us have been missing this ancient survival crop.